Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. First of all, obviously, I know I've been away for a while. No, I haven't uploaded. Didn't upload last week, but obviously, have good reasoning. From full transparency and completely honest, the month of April for me was not the best month. It's probably one of my worst months trading. Could not get a grasp of the market, and last week being the last week of April, I just didn't really want to trade it. To be fair. And so I really wanted a hard reset. I took a week off, fully journaled my trades to really see what's going on, really trying to go back to the basics, right? And so obviously I'm back now for this week. I know it's already been the second week of May, but I really stopped trading this last week of April. Took it off, and I just needed, I guess, 1 week. I took one extra week for the market, but I'm back now, right? And so, reviewed everything, and yeah, the biggest thing for a trader is really how you move on from those biggest losses, right? It's not that I was taking large losses. It's not like I was blowing up accounts and things like that with one trade, with one loss, but it was just slowly draining. It was really slowly just red. It was small losses, but over time, those accumulated to, very detrimental losses, especially not only to my mental sanity, but even to my personal account, right? And so, or my trading account. So it's not like with one trade I blew everything. It's just the fact that, accumulation of all the trades, even if they're small losses, it just felt like I could not have a simple winning day. And so, with that being said, I really wanted to get a better grasp of the market and really just take a week off, kind of reset. And so, yeah, I'm here now. Here for the second start of May. Hopefully, a lot better now. But I still kept up with the market, still looked at it, and so want to keep this video as short as possible, right? Market's still rallying, right? Market ever since the bottom, and I'll give you guys this kind of visual right here. Ever since the bottom, right, market has been rallying. You could even see we reclaimed above that 55.50, 50.20 level, and for me personally, that gives me a kind of shift in sentiment, right? Are we now looking to possibly long this market, right? Long term wise, this is when I would possibly say that the conditions are leaning more to the upside, right? There's a possibility we're going to be able to touch these previous pivot highs around kind of that 5% correction level to around those 58.35s, right? So now with this being above, I'm starting to flip more of the confidence towards buyers, right? Biggest thing as well is though the lack of volume, right? You could kind of see as we sold off last times, and every time we sold off with pretty decent volume, right? We sold off volume and even volume here, right? Problem was now this whole week since this rally, we have been rallying on quite low volume, pretty low, right? We have some spikes there and then, but it's been pretty low, right? But nevertheless, for me, lack of volume shows lack of interest, right? Is this rally really just kind of a fake rally, right? Are we trying to accumulate more volume to possibly push this market lower, right? And so that's obviously in the longer term side of things. But at the moment, from what I see the market, as long as we are above these 55.50s, 55.20s, we are in bullish mode targeting these previous pivots, right? It's not until I see we get back below here and reject it that I'm like, okay, now this is truly what what we're looking at. The low volume rally really was seeking for more volume, seeking for more buyers in this market to possibly push this lower, right? So with that being said, last couple of weeks, to be fair, I feel like I really didn't miss much. It was, we have kind of this kind of balance range, and you can see it from here. This kind of 7-day balance range, and we've kind of just built this volume here. You can see it from this right side of the profile, but it's been pretty lackluster, and it kind of aligns with that lack of volume and volatility, right? And so with me, something I even learned from looking back at my trades is really taking trades when it comes to low volume and low volatility. The best thing to do is to trade the extremes. And something that I realized I didn't do was trade those extremes. I kind of went against my own, not I wouldn't say rule, but kind of my own analysis, right? And so why write a plan if you're not going to follow it? And so with that being said, ideally the market, what you're gonna want to look forward to this coming week for the market is kind of those extremes, right? Do we break above or do we break below? And so above is obviously going to give us those kind of higher targets of that 5% correction level, those 58.35s. Below is going to give us back into that pivotal support of 55.50, 55.20, right? And so with that being said, another thing before I show you guys, my the levels that I have for this week, you can even see that this is genuinely, and I don't just say this, in hindsight, but it's something that I emphasize a lot, and unfortunately I didn't really follow along in the month of April. But when balanced conditions, it's always important to play failed breakouts. One thing to note is when we were kind of in this kind of little balance range where this was a high, this was a low, you could even see that the market on the next day broke below that low, that balance low, and reclaimed back above it, and we targeted those highs again. What happened the next day? Market broke back above those highs and broke back below, right? And you can even see it in the daily profiles that there's a lot of volume over there. There's a lot of trap participants there, right? But yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing I'm gonna be looking for this week, and to fully show you guys my levels. Let me just pull it up here. Um, for me, it's gonna the biggest thing is obviously I have that 55.50 level. It's gonna be that support level. It aligns with exactly with what I have here, right? In all full transparency, I believe that as long as we are above this, buyers are gonna be in control in the long term. There's a possibility we pull back here and we continue higher, right? That's just how simple it is. It's nothing complex. It's just how simple it is. Um, so I truly do not expect the strongest amount of selling until we get below that. And so now my biggest thing is obviously my weekly bullish level is above this kind of range, right? Kind of above this range of these 41s. And then the weekly bearish level is going to be below these 96s, which is the low of this range, right? Below these 96s allow us to target those 55.50s. Above these 41s allow us to target those 57.80s to even that 5% correction level at 58.58, right? So around here, these highs around here. So it's important to watch, right? Market currently right now where it sits, and to give you guys full transparency, it's gapping up, right? This is pretty good from buyers. Ideally buyers want to hold this. However, I do see as well that we are currently in this kind of range. So it's going to be important to see how we open tomorrow, right? Do we open within this range? And if we open within this range of this pre-market, despite us, showing strength from buyers of gapping up, I'm still going to be playing those balanced conditions. What does that mean? I genuinely, and this is something I learned from acknowledging my losses, is a lot of the times I would be taking trades within this range, and I would get frustrated and be like, oh, why is it not going, it's not following or why is it not working? And in simplicity, it's just you're trading within this range. You really are just trading within this range. When you're in balanced conditions, you want to trade within the extremes. So if we maintain this range in the pre-market, biggest thing I will want to look for is possibly pullbacks into these 41s, or if it's not even possible, pull back into these 34s, right? And to really see what is possible at playing these ranges, right? With that being said, buyers are still in control as long as we are above these 41s. I still put them in control, so I'm more comfortable in long positions rather than short positions, right? And so, you know, listen, as a trader, you're gonna come through a lot of hardships. It's not always gonna be clear, right? Last month of April, I saw actually a lot of traders that I look up to and I learn from take lots of losses. It wasn't the best of month, not just for me, but a lot of the traders that I watch on YouTube. But the biggest thing is, they always, always, always bounce back. And how do they bounce back? They analyze their trades. They see where they went wrong. They fix that, and they always start fresh. If they need to, they take a break, right? And so that's the biggest thing. So heading forward, there's some things that I want to tweak, especially when it comes to trading within the ranges. Another thing is, sometimes I was entering the trades too prematurely, so against the trend. I really don't want to kind of influence those bad habits. So with that being said, guys, simple video, small video. Hope you guys still enjoy. Apologize for, kind of going ghost on you guys. It was just kind of a mental break for myself personally to really bounce back and really learn. But again, with these 41s and these 96s, we are kind of in this range. Volume is low. Do we continue this low volume, right? Ideally, breaking out of this range, we want to see, volume start to pick up, right? We want to see some volume start to possibly get up to these highs, if that is interest from buyers. If we continue to see these low volumes, I'm going to be a bit more concerned in the long term. In the short term, we are above those weekly bullish levels. I'm going to be looking for longs. I'm still going to, if it's still balanced conditions, the best thing to do is still to wait for those extremes to play out. So those highs, those lows, and then once you see that, that's when you start to put in some risk on. With that being said, guys, I hope to also start to record some live videos to really see, to really show you guys how my execution is, to not only for you guys, but for even me to keep myself accountable and have it as as a journal. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great trading week. I hope you guys, still support the channel. Hope you guys still love these videos. I love doing these videos. It's a big passion of mine. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, with that being said, guys, really hope you guys have a great trading week. Follow your plans. Really look back if needed. Look at those losses. Grow from them. But other than that, uh, have a great trading week, guys. Peace.